Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at the writing process in content writing. Now, if you were to do any writing for that matter, there is a certain process and procedure we all undergo. The reason that process matters a lot is that will first tell you what starts where and how it actually progresses along the way. So this particular process is a very beautiful process, but is a much more structured process as well. So one, you understand how the process starts, what happens, and that's when you get a much more better and finished product. So if you were to compare the products of maybe Chinese products, whereas the same of a premium company as well, there would be a lot of difference. One is because of the process it has undergone and the steps it has also undergone. So in a similar way, writing also parries the very same ideology. Let's quickly look into what are the different steps we have in writing, which is the first step. The first step that we all know in writing is called pre-writing. So as it says, first understanding your assignment. We need to first think and decide what we want to write. That is the first step in writing. So we decide on the topic what we're going to write about and who will read the work, the audience, and then brainstorming as well is definitely a major part of pre-writing. So as you're going to start with your pre-writing process, you have to first draft it in a way and think about it and narrow it down. We have the inverted pyramid approach. So we have a broader idea, and as it boils down, we trickle down to a much more specific topic. And based on that, we can definitely go ahead and do our research and start our writing. So next one is research. This is definitely needed. But the problem is with respect to writing, usually in content writing, we already have the materials. So we are creating materials from there on. But research gives you a much better understanding of what you're going to write about and how better you can write. So it will tell you the places where you can find information. So where and all we are researching, what and all are we reading. Researching is nothing but finding out more information what is already available to us on a set topic. It's called researching, and that's the reason we have this particular step, which is very much important over here. Next we have drafting. Drafting also is one essential step. It's also considered the third step. It has a lot of parts in this. So first is writing sentences and paragraphs even if they are not perfect. Understand one thing, whatever we write is not going to be perfect the very first time. Not every stroke of Da Vinci is perfect. But what you do is called editing and perfecting it later on. Next we have creating a thesis statement with the main idea. So once you have a thesis statement, you will know what to do, how to draft it, how to craft it to make it much more better. And also we need to read it again, write some more, read it again. This is a very important step. This process of reading and writing, we need to read, redraft so as to get that perfection over there. And appropriacy also is one part in this, where you're able to use the perfect vocabulary in the perfect spot. So at times when we fail to use it, we take time out. We take time out to find out which word would be applicable in that particular setting, so we'll be learning in a much better manner. Next, we also need to make sure that we have conveyed everything we want to convey through this very topic. Only then the person who is listening, the viewer, will be able to convey and understand what you're trying to convey through your writing. Next is revising. So it's all about perfecting it. It's all about tuning it. We call it making it better. So we need to read what we have written again, rearrange words, sentences or paragraphs in a clear and logical order. We call it coherence and cohesion. So whatever you're writing, it cannot be like some weird movies that we see of today. It has to have a certain sense of connection to one another, because all the stories that we hear, even when kids tell you a story, they're not connected to each other. Rather, they have to have a sense of logical consistency, and only then it will be much more effective in nature. And do more research and replace overused or unclear words. So what are overused words? We are not aware of all the words that we use. But once you start reading, you will observe in your own works that you tend to use, or you incline towards using a certain word a few more times rather than the others. So we can actually trim it out of our writing. and read your writing aloud to make sure it flows smoothly. Add transitions. So we also have discourse markers available to us. We'll be integrating them into our writing. Next is editing and proofreading. Here is pretty much the end cap of the entire presentation. Your content is almost ready right now. So how are you going to finish it off? So what you can do, check the spelling, capitalization and punctuation. Make sure that all the words are correct and not misspelled. And also with respect to the formatting style, you have three major categories: APA, Chicago style or MLA. So based on either of them, you can write it. And it's always good to ask your friend to have a go through. So in case we might have missed some errors, please make sure that they will be able to correct them. Alright, that is the end of the lesson. Thank you.